So
I
guess he's not looking at it like that, but the game of football, and the league is who basically
thought about that
brought
too.
him down or whatever.
Yeah. I thought about what you said too, Cap, but I look at it like this. From what we do know about just about any sport professionally, for sure, it's slavery. It's slavery.
Yeah.
And
any job is.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
especially
just
every job.
any job.
Yes, every single job.
Yes, every job.
Every single job.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, I feel like you can do exactly what Cube is doing. Come up with your own league that way you can play football again.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of going to the white man, begging this nigga,
But
to
there
put
are
you back in
other
the sport.
leagues. Like The Rock owns the new XFL. I don't understand why you just don't go to the XFL if you just want to play.
Right. If that's all you want to do, if you want to just play,
If that's all you want to do is play, why not
or
go
do
to
you
the
really
XFL?
wanna-
Why not go to the Canadian League? Why not go to the Mexican League? Why, if you just want to play, them, because the Canadians and the Mexicans don't give a fuck about who you are. They just want somebody that can play.
Right. Yep.
And because you're going to be on their league, everybody's going to freaking tune in, and it's just going to bring viewers.
More for them. Yeah. Because you're a big star.
You're going to have the Deion Sanders effect.
Definitely.
By going to the XFL or by going to the Canadian League or by going to the Mexican League.
And everybody.
Why does it have to be the NFL?
To me, that is not what keeping it real is. That is not what keeping it real is to me. For you to beat Kaepernick and begging to go back to this league, the term keeping it real, I feel like we use that in, that's just a figure of speech to me. Keeping it real is just a figure of speech. We do not use it.
Figure of speech.
Yeah, we do not keep anything real whatsoever.
We don't keep it real.
Nothing real. Because the moment we get to the Kaepernick position, we're going to do the Kaepernick now. That's not keeping it real.
Right. He kept it real, but he ain't keep it all the way real.
Exactly. No. He kept to hold me back while I'm in front of around my boys. Hold me back while I say all this and that.
You lucky they holding me back.
Exactly. You lucky they holding me back. You lucky they holding me back. Hey, I used to work at an alternative school, and it used to happen all the time, where the kids would act like they want to fight, and then when we would show up to break it up, now you want to go after because you know we're getting ready to break up the fight.
Exactly. I've never been the one that did that. I always let the people yep until they got in reaching distance, and if you didn't do what you said you was gonna do, yo bad. Yo bad. There's no need for me to do all that yapping. Just like the Kaepernick. It was no need for Kaepernick to do all that yapping if you're going to do what you do now. Just kneel and then move on. If they're going to do what they did, what they did, just kneel and move on. And don't beg
if you still wanted to play back then, there were still other leagues. There's an arena league. There's indoor league. There's so many other leagues that are insignificant that we don't hear because they're not on mainstream TV, that if you just wanted to play.
I think I know what it was.
Yep.
I think I know what it was now. He didn't want to leave his friends.
But you know what? He's not even listed as a, if you look him up, he's not even listed as an ex-football player or whatever. He's listed as a civil rights leader.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
So they did. Yeah.
That's how they got him on Wikipedia?
Yeah, he's listed as, let me look it up.
They did the white
as
thing.
A civil rights leader.
They erased him.
They erased him as an NFL player.
Okay, he's an American civil rights activist. They don't have him up there as a football player.
As a former NFL player.
Ex-former, nah.
They didn't Rachel. What's the white chick who wanted to be black? Rachel, whatever. They didn't erased her. Erased him.
The racial divide.
Yeah, I'm like, because I looked her up for something that we talked to talk about. I couldn't find anything other than something about her white parents, and that's it. I couldn't find nothing about her. I couldn't find nothing. I'm like, I couldn't even find what she did in the NCAA. I couldn't find nothing on that. I was like, they just straight erased her. And then here she come talking about I didn't wrote a black book about black.
Right.
And now we got Kaepernick out here begging the freaking white man. I'm like, this nigga right here. This nigga's an Uncle Ruckus to me.
That was the part. Like I said, I was behind him at first, but then I was like, and then I even watched this little documentary or whatever. Thought it was really, really good. I thought it was good. When it kind of told his story. But then I was like, but if you really wanted to play, why does it have to be the NFL? Why don't you just go someplace? Right. Why don't you just go someplace else just to play? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if he'd have went to the XFL, I think there was something. What's his name? McMahon that owned WWE or whatever. He had it first.
Vince McMahon.
Then it went out of business. And then, but to me, that's what I would have did. I would have went and recruited him and brought him there, and everybody. Haters love people like him. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, and everybody can't stand the freaking Cowboys. But everybody is always talking about all Cowboys haters talk more about the Cowboys than they do their own team. Right. And so people are going to go and watch Kaepernick in wherever he goes just because they hate him.
Mm-hmm. Unlike that Bryant Grinder chick, update on that Cal too. Hey, not really an update, but
what's the update on her? Because I didn't pay no attention.
Again, the update on her that is nothing. It's nothing. It's exactly what we talked about. Cal, the moment she got out, what we was going to hear about her? Nothing. Ain't that what we said? You said ain't nobody gonna watch the sport no more than what they ain't already. She ain't gonna do nothing other than she did. I believe she did pop up on the scene somewhere, but as like a press conference talking about something white. I'm like, man, now you basically they didn't got you out, and now you been to whatever it is that they told you to bend to.
It's a transaction.
Exactly, transaction. Because first of all, it makes absolutely zero sense to let go of freaking. I ain't gonna say, just because she's female and she's a professional female. I ain't saying that, but I'm saying for what she is. Period. Not just a person who's an NBA player to be released for a freaking war criminal. That makes sense. That makes just like American sense, to be exact. So, but again, and that's why you didn't hear nothing when she came out, like we stated when we talked about it at the time. And that's why the one little bitty thing that did pop up with her, I want to say, I probably maybe sometime last year or earlier this year, where she popped up in some type of press conference saying, I don't even think it was sports related. I don't even think it was sports related. I think it was something about her.
Since she's been released, there hasn't been any. You know, even on TV, you would think that maybe they would have broadcasted more of the Phoenix's games or something like that. But that's not even the case, because you thought that would have brought a little bit more notoriety to the WNBA.
To them,
but she didn't. It didn't bring any more. Nobody cared.
The only thing that would bring notoriety to the WNBA is that they announced that it would be no more WNBA.
See, I'm mad at you because I'm a female basketball player and I love
that's the only way.
Girls basketball. I think it's more entertaining than men's basketball. It's more fundamentally sound. And if it wasn't for the fact that, and I'm one of those females back in the day that I would go to the gym and I would run with nothing but guys, and I would be the only female on the floor, and they would be mad at me because I could outplay most guys that are. If you're an average guy, I was able to outplay you. The only way you was able to outplay me was because you were stronger than me. The only reason.
And that's the primary.
But I shoot your lights out. You just lucky I couldn't dunk on you.
That's the primary reason why it won't get notoriety, because the way the world works, you are a female. There's no way you're supposed to be our adversary. No way. You can't do anything I can do better in this case right here. That ain't supposed to be. That ain't supposed to happen. But the sense that does happen on a often basis, we got to keep females in societal their female place.
Gotta keep us in our place. I mean, and I get it as a female coach. I'm not supposed to. You didn't play football. So how are you supposed to know the game? Well, why is the fact that most female teams are coached by males, but males didn't play female basketball? Males ain't playing female volleyball. Males ain't playing female softball. Males ain't playing our, but but it can't be the other way around with females coaching a predominantly male sport.
Cool. As long as you know your place, be good. I ain't gotta do no more talking.
And that's part of the problem.
And that is part of the problem. Yeah, that is part of the problem. Like that's
that's part of the problem.
It is sad though. Like it is sad. Like I don't want to get too deep because it is getting too late, but that's one reason of why I think that equality would never exist. And I don't even think it can exist at this point. Oh,
I don't think it ever can exist.
Oh, it can't because of because I forgot to answer. Did I answer? Oh yeah, I did answer the question earlier when you doing January 6th the right way. But earlier in the show, I did answer that. But another way I thought about is I call it the Wick, the John Wick method. If you see the John Wick series and what he did to go after the order of everything, that's the absolute only way that I think that it can. That's the only way it can shatter because of one, the notion of what we consider a good person. What is that? From my perspective, I don't want to get into that on another show, but adding that on to what we consider a good person, and if you had the supremacy or / authority that white supremacy has, would you give it up? It's a question that I was asked.
That's a good question.
That's a good question right there.
That's a really, really good question.
Yeah,
I mean, really good question. Because why would white people want to give up white supremacy when it benefits them?
Right. That's why we have to take it from there.
And that's the sad part that I mentioned earlier. Like that's the extremely sad part, that why does it have to be this type of hate? Why can't we just not mess with other people? Because when you think about it, you don't really have to bother other people whatsoever in this world, but yet we still choose to. And it's people that have a delight off that. They get pleasure off messing with other people
and having control over other people.
Yeah, but again, the way the system has been in place, forcefully instilled for so long, that the psychologically, what we've been talking about this whole show, has been embedded into humanity so much that you would have to go the John Wick method and eradicate the whole entire order. And that's the sad part about it. It shouldn't have to go this far, but the way that they made it,
right,
you have it. That's why the casualties will have to come into play. That's what I said earlier. There will be casualties because of them niggas. Because of them niggas, it has to be casualties. And that's the sad part about it. That's the part of you talking about. You ain't really keeping it real in the context that you think that you're speaking, keeping it real.
Yeah.
Because I doubt how many of y'all were going to actually go that Harriet Tubman route.
Right.
How many of y'all going to,
you know what?
Yeah. How many of y'all going to like, you know what, now that I think about it, a bite from this canine ain't as bad.
Right.
And it's so hard to walk that by yourself.
Yes. And
it's so hard to walk that by, just really, really just by yourself. And then I think one thing that my husband always talks about when I'm always bashing white people, he was like, but if it wasn't for white people being on your side, we would still be fucking slaves.
Oh man, I don't want to hear that bull crap.
I don't either.
I don't want to hear that bull crap.
But there's still some reality to that. If you didn't have the people hiding us or the abolitionists and stuff like that, would we would have been able to be free?
One, that's the fiction.
So we owe them something.